Hello there, my name is Mike, and I want to talk to you guys about why there will never be another World War II shooter for Call of Duty. And this was intended as a response to NerosCinema, who posted a video about why we need another World War II shooter for Call of Duty, but if you haven't seen that video, it could also stand alone as a discussion for everybody. You know, it doesn't matter if you saw the video or not. Now, as much as I love World War II, I think that nostalgia is playing a huge part in this, as well as just a total infatuation for the time period. And this means that what we want is entirely subjective. Both Nero and I would love to have a World War II shooter, but I can bet that a lot of people don't care about World War II. This all boils down to what's trending. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can remember the humongous trend of World War II media back in the 90s and early 2000s. And really what caused the downfall of that whole movement was the oversaturation of World War II on the market. You saw it, it was everywhere. You had Medal of Honor Allied Assault, which was one of the most memorable ones. Then you also had Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, as well as the expansions for the first Call of Duty and some other games. You know, it was humongous, not just Call of Duty as well. There was tons of games like it. That was the big thing back then. It's very much the same thing as Modern Warfare is today. People like modern games. They want to be able to pretend that they're in the military in today or in the near future. Now, when CoD 4 was released back in 2007, that was pretty much the final catalyst that just kicked out World War II from popularity. Everybody was starting to get kind of tired of the whole World War II era kind of escapism, and when we jumped over to Modern Warfare, everybody was kind of reinvigorated into shooters, and that's why this pretty much kicked them out. That was the last straw for World War II. There's nothing going on with World War II at that point, so they just kicked it out and it was over. Now, back when the first Call of Duty was, being formulated, the guys at Infinity Ward actually were having talks about possibly making it modern. And they decided to keep it safe and go with World War II, but by the time of Call of Duty 2, they wanted to make it a modern game, but Activision prevented them from doing that. They didn't think it was a very good idea. And little did they know how much it would become a huge success with Call of Duty 4. Now, I know Nero mentioned this, and I'm sure others will likely agree that the history behind the guns in, World War II shooters added a ton of depth to the game that we just don't see in the newer Call of Duties and Modern Warfare games and all that. But I think this only creates that depth for history buffs. If you're not a history buff, you probably don't care. You just want to be able to shoot enemies and that's it. You want to use whatever the coolest thing is at that point in time. But we have examples. Sci-fi and fantasy don't have any historical value, yet they're still alluring. Halo is a perfect example of a popular game with next to no historical value, yet people still love to play it. I love playing Halo at times, but it doesn't have any historical value. So that kind of shows you that this is entirely subjective and that it's really just what you're in the mood for, because I'm always in the mood for different things. We also have to keep in mind that if World War II was released every single year for Call of Duty, it would definitely get tedious, especially because of the lack of gun variety after a few installments. I mean, World War II only had so many guns, but that's of course if it's just strict historical weapons. The Wunderwaffe and the ray gun are extremely popular in Nazi zombies, or now it's just kind of called zombies, which I don't like. I wish it was Nazis, but I'd be fine with seeing an occult kind of World War II Call of Duty. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, they've done it with Wolfenstein, but I didn't think that was too popular. And other than that, it hasn't really been touched on too much with video games. If they could pull it off, that'd be amazing. But it's a little hard to, because there's not much known about it. But they could really go somewhere with it, because they have with zombies. You got Richthofen and all them, and it's very cool how they get that atmosphere into zombies. Now, in terms of business practice, if you want to kill all your hope for there ever being a World War II shooter, it would just be a stupid idea for Activision to take a risk to go back to World War II if the franchise already sells at highly exemplary levels. I mean, it's one of the best-selling games out there, and I'm sorry if that pretty much killed every chance, that glimmer of hope in your heart that there would be another World War II shooter, but that is probably the truth. I mean, I cannot see why they would. Modern and the near future is just the perfect time period right now for what's trending. So it's pretty doubtful that the Call of Duty franchise will revisit the 1940s anytime soon, and for Nero and I both, this is terrible news, but just like all trends, World War II will definitely come back around. The problem for us is when. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you guys got something out of this, and I hope you enjoyed it. But I also have a question for you guys today. Do you think a Call of Duty game based on the Nazi occult of World War II would be fun? And do you think it would reinvigorate the time period, for video games? If you don't know, the Nazi occult is pretty much the zombies game mode that we get in the Call of Duty games. That's what it's based off of. That's the atmosphere you'll get. It's anything dealing with paranormal technologies. So like the Thunder Gun or the Ray Gun, or even the zombies themselves, those are all very secretive experiments. If you like that kind of stuff, then you might like the Nazi occult. You could search it up too. But seeing a video game on that would be really cool in my opinion. But I want to hear yours, so leave a comment below. I'd love to hear it. I'd really appreciate if you guys could go ahead and leave a rating on the video, and you could go ahead and follow me on Twitter and Twitch for updates and live streaming respectively. I'll see you next time.